Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Cameron Corish, I'm from Core Health Coaching. To our health tip number one. Now today is a very hot day. I'm based in Brisbane. We're sort of very high 30s at the moment. So one of the critical things for our health and our most important macronutrient is actually water. Now, a lot of people know this, and it shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of people, but how good we're at drinking water is not very good. So knowing something and implementing something is something completely different. There's been a lot of different sorts of commentary around what constitutes water, what is it just liquid or just water, but I just really want to focus in on water today. So why is it important? Look, I've already said it's the most important macronutrient. So, but let's put that into perspective. I'm going to read some of my notes here. But the human body is approximately 70% of water. The brain 75%. Our blood is 83%, and even our bones are 22%. So it's pretty critical in regards to how our body is made up. But every single function of our body is linked and regulated and dependent upon water. So it really is critical, and it's just because you know it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it and you're doing it effectively. So hence why my first ever health tip for all of my clients is just start drinking the right amount of water. So leads me on to the next one. You know, how much is the right amount? Now, most people would have heard the adage around about 6 to 7 glasses of water a day. And look, that is right if you're the average weight, average height, okay? Now, unfortunately, not everyone's average. Some are above average, some are below average. Don't take that wrong way. But, you know, we have clients at 180 kilos. And when they come and see us and they talk about 6 to 7 glasses and they're doing really well with it, to be honest, it's not right. You know, they're significantly larger than most people, so they need to have significantly more. Even the fact that I said 83% of your blood is water, right? There's more blood in someone who's larger. So the right amount of water is really based on your body weight, okay? So the formula is 0.03, and this is in litres, is 0.03. Again, I'm looking at my notes. So someone who's 80 kilos needs to have 2.4 litres. I'm stopping there. Just listen to that. Someone who's 80 kilos is 2.4. So if you're 60 kilos, you need 2. But if you're 100 kilos, you need 3 litres. Now, that's the minimum amount of water, okay? So there are some adjustments that normally go with that. So as far as adjustments go, is that you need to factor in the external temperature. So as I said, Brisbane at the moment is high 30s. So you need to adjust your water based on your heat, okay? So that's external temperature. We've also got our internal temperature stuff. So a woman will fluctuate through her menstruation cycle, so she will have higher temperatures, so she needs more water. You know, when we're stressed, we need more water. Our nervous system is actually upregulated. As a result, we need to have more water at that time to actually make sure our nervous system is working well. You know, other things in regards to exercise. The minimum amount that you need for exercise is an hour of water per, a litre of water per hour of exercise. So again, so thinking about, you know, if your minimum is 3, then it's a really hot day, and then you're doing some exercise, like we're talking, you know, you could be anywhere up to 5 litres of water. Now that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but the real check on this is that when you're going to the toilet, your pee should be really clear, okay? Now, the first one in the morning obviously doesn't sit, but and that's because it's getting rid of a lot of acidity, it's getting rid of a lot of toxins over the night. But after that one, generally it's going to be okay. Now, if you have high vitamins, and classic is vitamin B, is that it might be even yellower depending upon when you actually have that. But at the same time, generally it should be clear, okay? So the other adjustments is other fluid intake, like if we're having caffeine, alcohol, soft drinks or juices, they will dehydrate the body, okay? So, and it kind of makes sense, like, you know, when we have a lot of alcohol, we know we go to the toilet more. Now, I think it's funny that, like, you know, you may have 2 or 3 drinks of wine, but within an hour or 2 hours, all of a sudden you're there and you're sitting in the toilet and you're there for a while. And it's just kind of like, I didn't drink that much to constitute, but the body is trying to get rid of those toxins. So as a result, it's flushing them out. So it uses more water than you actually, than the fluid that you get in. Same thing for caffeine. You know, caffeine is known as a diuretic. So a diuretic is actually getting water out of the body. So if you actually then do, you know, drinking caffeine or sort of alcohol, obviously that's going to increase it. Now, the other one is definitely around sugary drinks. You know, again, the body looks at sugar. If it has too much sugar, it's trying to get rid of it. So flushing it out is really another part of the function. So make sure that you're having adjustments for that. If you can get rid of those couple of things, obviously then your body's not getting rid of water. You don't need to have as much, okay? The last adjustment that I'll talk about is your different sexes. Now, there is fundamental difference between male and female, so hopefully you know that. But, you know, during a menstruation cycle, the last 3 to 4 weeks, generally a woman will be storing more water to get ready for the bloodletting process in menstruation. So you do need to have water, and women that I talk to really get probably a little bit, they feel bloated through that period of time and think, oh, I don't need water, but that's actually the time that you need to do it. Because if you're not having water, the body's going to draw it out of other parts of the body. So definitely, you know, those adjustments we talked about: body weight, external temperature, internal temperature, exercise volumes, fluid intake, and depending upon your sex as well, you need to adjust that as well. So what other sorts of things do we need to think about with water? Okay, so the extra things that we need to think of. The first one might sound a little bit strange. This is coming from, you know, the authority in regards to water. Pat Manjani, if you've ever heard of it, his book is called, you know, The Body's Many Cries for Water. I think it's a really great read. But what he talks about is actually having sea salt in the water. Now, again, this sounds kind of a little bit crazy. And it's kind of like, oh, isn't salt bad? When you can get past, have an understanding of the differences of table salt and then sea salt, is that the sea salt actually adds this micronutrient element to our water. Now, when people go to hospital and they're dehydrated, the first thing they do is put them on a saline drip. What's saline? Well, saline is salt water. So just a little bit of salt, not so much that you can taste it, a little bit will actually help with the absorption of the water. Otherwise, what happens is it goes through a longer process and it's a little bit slower. And look, this is nothing new. Like if you think about Gatorade sells on fast absorption, and how they do it is based on, you know, a sugar delivery system. Whereas what I'm talking about is more of a salt delivery system, which then draws straight through the stomach wall. Now, that doesn't apply for water that is really cold. Okay, so that's the other extra thing that you need to think of. Now, I know I talk to a lot of clients about weight loss. One of the things is, okay, when you want to lose weight, what cold water? Now, the problem with having really cold water is that the upper sphincter and the lower sphincter of the stomach then sort of close up, and they've got to warm it up to body temperature. So as a result, it's not going to be absorbed through the stomach wall, slow hydration down, and obviously will increase the heat that actually happens internally, because that stomach's got to then really shake and sort of really warm it up. So, you know, even in hot weather like we are at the moment, it can actually increase your core temperature because the body's got to work harder if you're having cold water. So if you can have it room temperature, that's great. So they're the extra couple of things that I would sort of suggest around water. The last thing I wanted to actually have a quick chat about was just in regards to, if you found this tip really interesting, come to our Facebook group, Health and Fitness Tips. It's a daily sort of tips. So it's something that, you know, I'm really passionate about, that I want to give and expose as many people as we can in regards to a different view on health. It's not a pharmaceutical approach, definitely very much more of preventative based stuff, but looking not just at, you know, food, water, exercise. It's really about some more things around your overall wellness, your lifestyle, your stress. So this is an opportunity just to have something in front of you on a regular basis to try and help you in regards to, you know, shifting through a lot of the information. There's so many things to do. If you just focus on one small change, and if you can do that on a daily basis, you can make a real significant change. So I wanted to thank you for listening to me, listening to me. And again, I encourage you to come to our Facebook group, Daily Health and Fitness Tips, and we'll catch you at another time. Have a healthy day. See ya.